I'm here to tell you the truth. Everyone is playing Palworld and saying it's the best game ever, but I'm here to be the only unbiased voice in this worldwide bandwagon. I'm here to tell you the truth and to tell you what this game actually looks like from a level-headed perspective. But you know, I actually hate when this stuff happens. I really do. Like, a game like Palworld comes out and everyone blindly praises it without a second thought and without really ever giving their honest opinions. All of the sudden, this game, Palworld, commonly referred to as Pokemon with Guns, gets really popular because everyone's favorite YouTuber or streamer or whatever starts pushing this stupid game, and then it spreads like wildfire and suddenly everyone's playing it. And people are like, oh my god, Donkey and Asmongold and this guy with the voice.
She has the passive skill of thirst, Chet.
They're all playing Palworld, so I have to as well because of my parasocial relationship with them. Then everyone plays it, you start talking about it with your friends, your phone listens to you, so you start getting ads for it, then it's advertised in yours and everyone else's face for weeks, then the reviews start rolling in and people say, oh my god, it's literally the best game in the world, you could shoot helpless animals in the face, and you can enslave them. How cool is that we all get to live out that fantasy? And I'm just standing in the back like, this game looks like straight trash. This is some Nintendo Switch graphic having Chinese bootleg Breath of the Wild. But it made me think that no one was looking at this objectively, and I really wanted to get down to it. What's the real answer? I mean, is Palworld even actually any good? Or are people just being manipulated into saying that because their favorite creators say that? Or is everyone just looking past the very obvious flaws of the game? I fortunately sit in a good position to review Palworld. I don't watch any streamers, no one likes me. I also haven't played Pokemon since Silver and Gold. I can't stand any survival type games besides Minecraft because it seems every game now needs to have survival and building mechanics, so it really seems like I'd straight up hate Palworld. I mean, it would be pretty insane though if I ended up liking a game that's basically a culmination of everything that I hate. So where to even start with this game? There's really so much to talk about, but when looking from the outside in, Palworld literally just looks like Pokemon except with guns. I mean, that's the line that everyone's been regurgitating to everyone. But it's really much more than that, and I'd say that line is misleading at best. So when you first start the game, a lot of things stuck out to me. Most notably, these horribly compressed JPEG images that look like garbage. Let's just say that this concerned me from the start. If you can't program a static image, then what are we really in for here? Again, bootleg comes to mind. I especially got that sense when making a character and having to go through about 4 different art styles when checking out the faces. Why do they all look so different? Well, either way, I picked this scary looking guy and I started my adventure, but you can really make whatever kind of character you want. You could look normal or absolutely insane and meme worthy. It's really great, and I love when games allow you to just go crazy with it. After creating my character, I entered into Palworld, and this was going to be 100% blind as I didn't want anything to distract me. I wanted to experience the game the way it was meant to be played, and this was the first thing that happened to me. Suffice to say, I already hated this game. I was just ready to deal with constant bugs and lame gameplay for the entire time, and to be honest, I was pretty lost at what I should do. Luckily, the game gives you some tips, so I was able to run around and just do what the game told me to do. But then something happened that really hooked me, and that was this chick right here. So you know how I thought this would just be Pokemon, a happy-go-lucky adventure through a world with friendly and cute animals? Well, that's not what Palworld is. Oh my god, you buried the bodies of your friends? That right there was enough to hook me into Palworld from the start. I had absolutely zero idea that this game would not only feature shooting animals, but also enslaving them, killing them, making them work so hard they break their bones, and so much more. Palworld is in this weird area where it gives you this cheery, almost whimsical, cartoonist backdrop with these cute pals, yet you're able to do horrible things to them, and horrible things are happening in this world on a daily basis. It's even funnier that these guys are even called pals. Like, I can't tell if the developers are just trolling us at this point. As you explore around Palworld, you'll find other towns and bases with humans in them. You can buy stuff from them and talk to them, but there really is no story going on there. But besides finding some journal entries and doing what the game tells you, there aren't any quests to get from NPCs. It just doesn't seem like that kind of game, and that's fine, I guess. There is truly a lot of other stuff you have to worry about, but if you're looking for some kind of questing or genuinely cool NPCs that you can interact with and get missions from, well, you won't find that here at all. So what do you actually do in Palworld? Well, like I said, it's a lot, and it can be super overwhelming at first, especially for someone who doesn't play survival games. One of the first things you have to do is catch some pals and build a base. Catching pals pals is about as simple as you would think. You beat them within an inch of their life, and you throw a pal sphere at them. Easy as that. Crafting and base building is also a huge component to Palworld and takes up a majority of the time in your game. One of the very best things that they implemented was the ability to access all of your stored items at once. This made base building and crafting a breeze. No longer do you have to run back and forth from some chest, carrying all the items that you can right up to your carry limit. You can build all kinds of weapons and armor and building materials and equipment and farms, and there is a huge technology tree that you unlock through leveling up. There really is a lot of stuff here. I don't know if this is normal for games like this because I don't really play them, but this seems like a lot. I mean, you could even make all this furniture in the game. I made a nice little bar to relax with my pals while they slave away in the hot sun to provide sustenance for us. Building is pretty fun, and even though I'm not great at it, it was still pretty enjoyable, addicting almost. I suspect the reason for this is that you are always chasing something. It could be upgrading your base to the next level by completing tasks and building new structures, adding pals to your camp, setting up farms, crafting items, getting resources to craft those items. I could go on and on. I even made this ridiculous stairway to heaven because I created my base on the side of a mountain like an idiot. There is a never-ending list of things to do for your base, and it gets you hooked. The best part about bases, though, is the ability to have pals do the work for you, and this is where Palworld shines. So what do we have? We have catching pals, we got resource gathering, base building, and pal management, and that's all great, but then there's even the exploration. You can go to fast travel points, find these little idols and chests throughout the world. You'll find enemy bases, which at lower levels will probably kick your ass. There are dungeons, which are basically just boss fights, and you can go into a tower boss battle, which basically functions like a gym battle, I guess. So this was my roughly almost 20 hours with the game. But then after a while, the cracks started to show. The game is absolutely not polished, and I don't care what anyone says. I ran into so many glitches while I was playing, and I get it, Palworld is in early access, but for God's sake, could they just maybe prevent me from falling through the universe maybe just once? I was also hit with bugs pretty frequently when loading in. Building is also bugged in some spots, pretty annoying to be honest. But then something happened to me that got me a little upset. I had to start farming ore because I was about to get into the technology tree of making guns. During my exploring, I found an outcrop of ore nodes, a ton of them actually. Now through playing, I found out that these nodes do in fact respawn. Plop down a base, I start to mine the ore. Well, guess what? It doesn't respawn. No matter what I did through restarts or changing settings, nothing worked. But that's not even that bad. What really sucked was me falling through the game world every time I tried to go north on the map. This happened to me so much that I pretty much stopped playing altogether after roughly 20 hours. I don't know what the issue with this is. The only thing I could think to stop it is get a flying pal and just never touch the ground again. But this happened to me so frequently, I would almost consider it game breaking. And after half a dozen times trying to restart my Xbox and even trying to go to different areas, it didn't seem to work. I hope they'll patch it, but I really don't understand what's going on here. Another issue is the pal animations and sound. Some of them almost seem unfinished. It could be hard to tell when a pal is going to attack you, and they'll pretty much give you all of 0 sound clues. Not to mention the weird jump back thing they do when they get ready to battle. It just kind of looks goofy. But what really upsets me about Palworld is the lack of any soul to the game. And what I mean by that is that everything seems kind of lifeless, like it doesn't belong or that it's slapped together. Ironically, in this world teeming with life and creatures, the humans are the most soulless things in the game. Plus, there's really no identity to it at all. There's castles here and ruins, okay? Why? I hate to say it, but it almost makes it seem like one of those games where all the assets are stolen and they just throw in everything to make it look like a populated game. I could probably make something like this in Unreal. Oh, the game is made in Unreal. Go figure. But this doesn't look like some lived-in world. It just looks like an empty world that's populated with random stuff. There's people just standing in random locations, bases in areas that don't really make a lot of sense. There's no roads going to them. They're just plopped down in the middle of nowhere. And then you have to ask yourself, why? Why are all these people here? What the hell is everyone doing? I felt like I was in a world generated by AI and they just told it to make a world like Breath of the Wild but with Pokemon, and this is what it gave us. There's just no real cohesiveness in the spirit or connection you have to the game. I really wish we had some kind of story going on, a story that you're involved in. Like maybe you're tasked with recording data on pals on this island, or just do something completely different with it. Maybe the islands hide some crazy secret and you meet people along the way who might know about it and your pals are involved somehow. I don't know. I don't get paid to write, but I do wish at least some of the NPCs were voice acted, or the towns that you happen upon just have some kind of purpose. Now these might seem like some pretty big problems that I ran into, but here's the thing. This game is just straight up fun. I hate to say it, but I don't think I've played a game this fun in a long time. Maybe not since Deep Rock Galactic. And I'm not even talking about anything deep here. I don't think we need a 2-hour dissertation titled "The Greatness of Palworld: Why It Works" is needed for this game. Palworld is just fun. period. And that's saying a lot for someone like me who pretty much had zero interest in this game. I'll be honest, I came into this very biased. I legitimately wanted to make a video that would cause an uproar, and I wanted to hate this game, but I just can't. The developer, Pocket Pair Inc., seems to have made a philosophy of, let's just throw in the most fun parts of Rust, Pokemon, and Breath of the Wild, mash it all together, put guns in there, and now we have Palworld. It all comes together somehow, some way, and it just works despite the very obvious flaws. But it's also the way Pocket Pair seemingly completely mismatches the world and the serious tone of the game. It's so hilarious and funny to just be in this world of cute monsters that literally murder people and make them reminisce about burying their friends. It's so absurd it just becomes hilarious. This is the kind of stuff that makes you say, dude, you gotta check out this Palworld game. And then you do, and then you're hooked. And this is all just early access. I'm totally aware that I'm somewhat in the minority when it comes to what I want for the game. I think a lot of people want PvP, but I literally couldn't be more uninterested in that. I just want a cool story to go along with the exploration and catching pals. They need to fix all their bugs, add some smoothness to the battles, and make some interactions with NPCs to make it seem less lifeless. But that's just me. But this begs the question, is Palworld just a fad? Is it one of those flash-in-the-pan games that becomes popular for a couple months and then completely dies out? Well, I don't think it has to be, but I will say this. If Palworld is the game that we got for full price, I would be disappointed. Something has to be done to get more content into this game. If that doesn't happen, and the bugs and glitches aren't fixed, I can almost guarantee that this game won't even be remembered by the end of the year. I hope I'm wrong, but that's the truth. And as long as Game Freak doesn't immediately sue Palworld back to the Stone Age, then I think we might be okay. Overall, I really, truly enjoyed my time with Palworld, despite being someone who doesn't even like these kinds of games. Again, the game is simply fun, and that's just fine with me.